Love in Indiana. Oh, I let my love in Indiana. Please don't tell me California, Indiana. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming to this presentation. Grateful to the people at WAFLT for sponsoring this conference and allowing us to continue to learn how to be better world languages teachers. My name is Harris Levinson, and listening to the lovely voice of Diana Velasquez, who is a new teacher in Seattle. I'm a teacher in the Tacoma Public Schools. I teach at School of the Arts. This is my 4th year, but I've also taught on Vashon Island and at Garfield High School in Seattle. And I have started a master's program where I was fortunate enough to take a class on art and architecture in Mexico and Spain. And it introduced me to some tools and ideas that I am starting to use in my Spanish class this year. And I wanted to share them with others in case they might be useful. So I will only say that I've tried this now and see that the moving between my keynote or PowerPoint presentation and the links that I've got and I'm going to show you is a little clunky. My students have to deal with this every day because I'm using Teams, and Teams can do many things, but it's still got some work to do in terms of just navigating. So I know that you will be quite gracious, and I thank you, and patient. Bring up the PowerPoint or keynote, they call it here. Okay, so you should be seeing my title slide, and that is why is that man smiling at us, catching a student's eye with captivating art. Title comes from one of the paintings that I will show you later on, and I just like a title to be as long-winded as possible, really like a long subtitle as well. I just think it gets everybody off to a good start. Okay, here you should be seeing, fingers crossed, the goals, the agenda, basically. And I wanted to give a little credit to the singer. I was going to play Chicanita, and then I ended up playing My Indiana, but they're both from her record in 2019, Frontera Sin Cruzar. And yeah, just want to again say thanks for taking some time out of your morning, afternoon, whenever the hell you're watching this, maybe 2 in the morning, and learning along with me. Do need to take attendance. I wanted to make sure that Larry is here. Curly, you here? Mo, don't hit Curly. Come on, we've talked about this. All right, we're just gonna move forward. I see there's still some room in the back if you guys want to take a seat. Please put your cameras on. I mean, if you're not comfortable, that's okay, but it really helps me if you guys would have your cameras on. And yeah, Charlie, mute yourself. We can hear everything there. Okay, thanks, big guy. All right, why art? Well, if you are, in fact, thinking about the 5 C's, as I know you often are, probably always are, art certainly is a way for us to discuss with our students and expose our students to culture. We can talk about the art. There are different approaches we can take. We can compare different artistic works, learn something about the community from which the artist or the artwork itself comes. And for me, what I've found with remote learning is that I need to make connections with my students in order to keep them engaged and really with me. And it's not as successful as it has been for me in the past. Of course, there are always days in the classroom as well where connections are stronger than others, but I'm really noticing that. And so because I have students who enjoy art, this is really about trying to create connection with them on things that I know they're interested in. And thankful to Rebecca Bender, who is a professor at Kansas State University, but she came and taught us at Southern Oregon University's SLI program this summer. And it's usually at University of Guanajuato, but we did it from my living room, which was very convenient. And she showed us something called the Story Map. And it's made by Night Lab. And I don't want to spend today really showing you too much about how to do it, because I have found and will give to you in the document associated with this presentation 2 links to tutorials about how to do it. And it is fairly straightforward. One guy does it in 2 minutes and shows you his trip to Europe. I really enjoy the one that's 12 minutes long, almost 12 minutes, because it explores pastries in Boston's North End, including the vaunted and venerated cannoli. So you can click on those links when you get the document associated with it. But right now, I am going to take us over to just show you what that looks like and introduce you to it a little bit. So I will stop sharing this and let you see me again just for a brief minute. And then I will bring us over to the Night Lab, which is going to be here. Okay. Really hope you're seeing that. This is what you'll see when you go to storymap.nightlab.com. And they give you a sample one with US westward expansion. You can see on the left that there's a map with all of these different little flags in there. And those are going to be all the different places that they are taking us to in their story map. This one starts with a little bit about westward expansion, the mean center, and goes back to 1790. And you see I'm just clicking on the right arrow to move us up to Thomas Jefferson. And they say you don't want to go more than 20. I'd agree that depending on how much talking you're going to be doing about each, or activities preferably that you'll be doing with each, maybe 10 to 12. You know your students, and you can navigate backwards this way, and you can go up top and you can see examples, and then you can make your own. And I would advise looking at the tutorials that I linked so that you can in fact have a good sense of what you're doing when you get there. Okay, I should now be back on Teams, and you don't see me, and I'm still here. Hello, showing you just the beginning, just what Story Map kind of looks like when you go there, and the example that they have for you. Trust that you can go through that on your own. And now we're going over to we're gonna go over to my keynote, and it's not showing up. All right. Keynote's there, but you're not seeing it. So talk amongst yourselves. Maybe stretch a little bit. Go outside. Come back in. I'll be with you in a second. So sorry, guys. I have a feeling that you know what's going on here, and I am scurrying behind the scenes to get you what I am seeing. It's all about Teams helping me easily see what I want to show you. And now I can. So thanks for that. Whew. All right. I'm going to show you one that I created, which is Voces Silenciadas, Cuerpos a los Márgenes, representación de BIPOC en el arte español y latinoamericano. And you'll see, again, really come forward with a strong, long title to my story map, and I look forward to taking you through that. But I did want to introduce another tool called Juxtapose, also from the chivalrous people at Night Lab. And what Juxtapose does is it lets you take two photos or two pieces of art and well, yes, juxtapose them, but there's a little slide in the middle and you can show all of one or all of the other or just sections of it. And it's fairly powerful. And I want to show you how to do that and a couple that have been made. So we'll come back here. Hello, 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 hello. And now we're going to go away again and go over to Juxtapose, and see if we are now there. Okay, so this is an ESPN story where they are talking about the great boxer Floyd Mayweather. And as you scroll down and read about it, you get to a place right here where you see this photo and it's got this little bar in the middle. And if you move it to the right, you see the right fit Floyd in 1998, young man, beginning of his career. And then you slide it. Okay, and you're in 2015. Still right fit Floyd, but you know, 1998 to 15, what's that? 17 years older, and about to retire after his last fight. So what's happening? Well, you're seeing that ESPN went to Juxtapose and used the software to create this image. And when I show you Juxtapose, it looks like this. And you can click on it or you can just go down. And they've got this example juxtapose here where they're showing you a tract of land that used to look like this. And then now photo shows, oh, there's been quite a bit of development. Lots going on. There's a new highway system, maybe a water treatment facility, a lot of transportation, and that, like the Floyd Mayweather one, is with photos, but you can do it with art, and there are some more examples that they show. You can see where I got the boxing. I decided to do one between Picasso's Guernica and Wilfredo Lam's Rumblings of the Earth. And I did this because when I was studying the Afro-Cuban artist Wilfredo Lam, who, if you know, you probably understand why he's so compelling. And if you don't, you will enjoy, I believe, getting to know his work and being able to introduce to your kids someone who is biracial, who has who's a person of color that I find our students really want to see in their curriculum and want to be seen. And so Lam was quite taken with Picasso. And in 1937, you guys know about the Spanish Civil War, and Picasso's enormous response to the bombing in Guernica and what that looks like. But then in 1950, Wilfredo Lam actually got sort of a letter of introduction to go meet Picasso, and he did. And he's got his Rumblings of the Earth. And I look forward to showing my students both works. They'll have already seen Guernica, and I'll probably show them Wilfredo Lam on his own, and then maybe show them the juxtapose and say, what are we noticing? Like, what are some of the clues that you see that would allow you to confirm the assertion that Lam is, in fact, influenced by Picasso? You might notice just even the color gray that he uses there is a gray that's found in Guernica. But some of the images of the human body and the way that things are arranged on the canvas as well might be discussion points. And so that is Juxtapose. And I, will just tell you this from my experience. And this is using Mac, and maybe it won't be the case for you. But I found that when trying to make juxtaposes, here you can just put in the link. I'm looking at the left image. Just put in the link of the image, and then on the right, you're supposed to put in the image that you want to juxtapose it with. And it does say that they should be the same size, but then it says export your images to web quality to improve download time and align your images. And I have had difficulty when I just put the URLs in there. So what I did was I saw this little Dropbox logo, and Dropbox gives free accounts. And I know if you don't have one, you maybe don't want yet another thing, but it helps this work, and it's a fun way to share other stuff with people across the world for free. So I uploaded the two images to Dropbox, and then I clicked on Dropbox, found the images on my Dropbox, put them in here, and I hit preview, and bada bing, bada boom, it worked. And then I could publish it if I want to my website or wherever. I gave credit to the Museo Reina Sofia for Picasso and to the Guggenheim collection for the Lam. But that's about all. I would say, if you're wondering, hey, why don't you just upload an image from your computer? Forget about Dropbox. They don't let you do that. You have to upload it from Dropbox. Actually, you're kind of downloading it from Dropbox, but downloading and uploading. But no, you can't just upload it from your computer. So there's that. Okay, we have an opportunity now to go over to the actual story map that I created. And what's going on here is that you can choose the type of map that you want on the left. You can see mine looks quite different from the one that, the westward expansion one that's on the homepage of storymap.nightlab.com. And then you can put in a piece of art, you can give credit, and then you can write about it. And so I here am just explaining that my students want to see themselves represented in history, in art, and in the world. And so I'm trying to make that possible with the lessons and projects like this one, where story maps show works of art and subjects of people of color throughout Spanish and Afro-Latino art. And I go on about some things that aren't relevant right here, right now. And I start here with this Velázquez painting of Juan Pareja. And, I began this last week with my Spanish classes at School of the Arts. And I started with Velázquez himself because not all of them were familiar with him. Some of them had seen Las Meninas, but we went through this biography and some of his works. And there was no mention of the fact that he was a slaveholder, that this man, Juan Pareja, who was biracial, son of a white Spanish man and African mother, was in Velasquez's household when he was growing up, and then Pareja came and worked for Velasquez when he opened up his studio, and Velasquez liberated him on a trip to Italy in 1649, 1650, and Pareja went and worked with another Spanish painter. All right, I'm getting a little bit in the woods, but it was, in fact, interesting for my students to recognize the regular biographies that we're seeing of artists aren't always paying attention, no big surprise, to people of color, and we can do something about that. We can include them here. So this is Velasquez's painting of his assistant and former slave, and then I moved and discovered that Velasquez himself became an artist, and there are only 10 known works of his, and this is one of the most famous, this Vocation of St. Matthew, and that in this we see that Jesus is entering to the tax collection office and is asking for Matthew, who's seated to his right. And Matthew, of course, converts into one of his most loyal, faithful disciples, and one of the authors of the Evangels, the Gospels. And, you know, maybe that's why there's a little star that's painted by Pareja over his head. But the painter himself is here. The painter is over here on the left. And he is holding a piece of paper, and of course, at this point, I'm going to show them a bigger version of the painting so that they can see it in greater detail. And the list, if you have to look pretty closely, has his signature on, and I think a trace of a smile there. And so starting to maybe learn a little bit more about Pareja, obviously a religious man, but including himself in the artwork, as we saw Diego Velázquez include himself in Las Meninas, for example. Okay, so then I go over to Julia Lopez from Mexico's Ometepec, and talk about her, and into Wilfredo Lam, which who I've mentioned. In fact, there's the one that I juxtaposed. And then, you know, on Story Map, you can upload YouTube videos as well. So I wanted Celia Cruz, and we are able to listen to her song right here from the Story Map, or, you know, you can just go over to it on YouTube. But have a little fun, maybe do a little dancing, talk about Celia Cruz, and you know, then I'm going to show this Jay-Z and Beyonce video where they take over the Louvre and examine some of the paintings that they are standing in front of, and this is one of them. Of course, they're also in front of the Mona Lisa as well. This is a group of paintings called Casta paintings that I go into, and they're I'm sorry, these are the Casta paintings. They're very interested in race and distinction, and go into some great detail. And then they were sold to wealthy people back in Spain, and you can see that it gets to such a point where most academics say it's ridiculous. But what you do see is some of the interaction. Sometimes it's violent, sometimes it's playful, sometimes it's loving between partners of different races in Mexico over the years. And here's another one from the great Mexican painter Miguel Cabrera and their offspring. And here's another one of a Spanish with a woman who is, yeah, she's, I believe, protecting herself and being subject to abuse by this man. Her child is reflecting that fear. And then I'm able to give a bibliography. So I will include that link as well in the document. But let's see if we are getting near the end. We are, guys, 26 minutes in, and I would just say thank you again for checking this out. And you know, you can email me if you've got questions about it. But there's another speech presentation lesson that's being offered here at our fall 2020 conference. And I know you want to get to it. And I want to give you a little free time, you know, because they're kind of back to back. So get up, go outside, go get a hug, go have a drink of water, whatever you want to do. But get away from the screen for a bit and give you a few minutes free here. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. Adios y mucha suerte.